I'm actually, I'm the smallest minority ownership you can have in the pharmacies. I think is well, I don't know, but I do have some stock or some ownership in the pharmacies we have here in Utah, of all states, because I totally believe in it. I don't know what we have to do to get our colleagues. I think we're also going up against big pharma. You probably know that the Altria Group and those guys and Philip Morris. I mean, they own some of the best land in the world to grow this stuff. And it's going to be really interesting how I think all the laws for banking and the SEC and the federal stuff that's preventing this, it'll all ironically all be opened up at the same time, right? As the pharmaceutical people are ready in the supply chain and what they need to do. And then unfortunately the young guys or the young businesses um, are going to be struggling, right? Because right now it's more than a cottage industry, but it's not corporate America, right? And it's amazing time to be an entrepreneur in this space. Really, really is. And I promote anybody, any entrepreneur, but especially in this space. I think we cannot learn enough, fast enough, and get enough products out there. But it's going to be interesting to see how it rolls out when the Fed lightens up and big pharma gets in, and then there's already big hedge funds in it. So I'll shut up. I'll probably leave. But I really appreciate it.
I want to ask the both of you a question real quick. So as a family practitioner and a cardiologist, are there a lot of doctors that are just like you said, you're outside of the box? Are a lot of doctors just focused on what their area of the body is? And is it important for them to just like have an understanding with the other parts and understand like collaborating with other doctors, which I believe they do, but having a full understanding of the full body, how important is that?
Russ, you want to take a stab?
Oh yeah, sure. So I was going to let you go, Ben, but so doctors they're rule followers, okay? They're risk adverse rule followers, and and then unfortunately they also, I think that the cannabis industry, didn't have all the randomized data for it, and it's federally illegal. And so the last, they literally, I don't know what it is, but the ones that I talk to, it's ironic, right? Because a lot of them use, right? So you go to I went to the Neil Young concert, man, with a bunch of docs, and they were all using. But when it comes to their patients, I think the education wasn't there. And so even if the field looked really legit, say it wasn't a bunch of people that were more liberal and more free thought, and it was just this real, stuffy group of people, they still wouldn't do it if it was federally illegal and the hospital didn't, condone it. So I just think that it's a shame. But then all of a sudden, if we can get enough education out there, and they see enough people, can I tell one quick little story?
Yeah, for sure.
So we change valves, like heart valves, for a living, right? And I remember one of the things that opened my eyes, and this was a while ago. I was at a conference, and we were talking about changing valves, and the one lady was, I think, probably 91, right? And she had lost a lot of weight because of her valve. She probably went from 110 down to 85 pounds or 75 pounds. And when they presented it, they said, well, how's she doing now since her valve surgery? Because she got her valve changed. And the guy's like, oh, she's doing great. She's walking. She feels she can get up and down the steps. She goes out with her grandchildren, and she's gained 20 pounds. She's back up to 92 pounds from 75 or whatever. And then he goes, well, but I have to disclosed that her grandson turned her on to medicinal marijuana, and she claims that it's the only thing that stimulates her appetite. And then I practiced in Colorado for the last 5-6 years, and I'm shocked at how many people actually are on medicinal cannabis in states where it's legal. And now to me, it's commonplace in the history to just say, okay, what do you take, and do you use, marijuana? What are you using it for? And when they say I use it for my arthritis, I use it for anxiety, I use it for sleep, I don't even bat an eyelash, because I'm like, that's awesome. Because you know what? I would hate to hear them say, well, I take Valium and I take lorazepam and I take, Oxycontin, right? That makes me cringe, because I've seen so many people in these states where it's legal actually benefit from it. What's your answer, Ben? Why do docs not adopt it?
Well, so the question, I mean, what I heard was sort of are doctors kind of staying in their lane, and is the food doctor,
right.
is there any hope for them to embrace something new? And the truth is, I think we're in a very special new period here, which is just the birth of medical cannabis. And some crazy guy like me can do a little bit of formulation and a little bit of education and a little bit of everything, because it's all new and there's so much for all of us to learn. I think there will be a time very soon, hopefully in our lifetimes, where there's going to be too much to learn within cardiology, and we're going to need people that are experts already in the heart to focus on the endocannabinoid system as it relates to the heart. We have endocrinologists, which are the folks who sort of specialize in hormones and communication and kind of cross system action. But I think cannabis is even beyond that. I mean, cannabis is that. It's certainly a hormone and it does cross all the systems, but it does affect each body part in really unique ways. And I think you have to have a specialist for that. So I think eventually we will need that, but right now it's just a huge playground.
Yeah, it's like for me, yeah, I guess you call, critical care medicine, is a specialty. In fact, you could divide medicine like in hospital, out of the hospital, right? And so critical care medicine, a lot of it is, let's say, generic care, in the sense that all these people in the ICUs are on ventilators and they're sick and they're in pain. And, I would just love to see it start there. Just if we could do one thing where like every doctor knows, about anxiety and agitation and, all the things that happen, especially when somebody puts a tube in your throat and you wake up and you got this plastic tube in your throat and you can't breathe. There's a lot of anxiety there. And what do we do now? We slam these patients with morphine and Ativan and benzodiazepines. I mean, but after open heart surgery, by 12 hours, your body's already saturated with these traditional drugs, that could literally, land you an opioid addiction. And I see no reason why, we just can't. Yep, exactly. Give them something that's just going to, and it's on formulary, so the nurses know, so it's automatic. So yeah, I think there's a lot of individual stuff to learn per body part, per discipline. But we could start with just the big ones, the real big ones, like pain and anxiety, right? And then, some of the other ones, because it's already proven, I think. I mean, I don't. Do you need any more proof, Ben? I mean, I don't need any more proof.
Well, I definitely don't.